The amount of times that she played victim over Evan was ridiculous and somehow managed to make it about her.
James Charles is sleeping with Evan Johnson.
I believe that James will completely deny having any prior knowledge of the abuse.
I could have never imagined what she was actually going through behind the scenes.
And he will also flat out deny that the relationship with Evan Johnson was ever sexual.
Evan Johnson and I did not in any way, shape, or form have a physically sexual relationship. We did not have sex while he was here.
Next, I think that James will actually emphasize that Evan was suicidal and that James was simply just trying to help as a friend.
He was very suicidal and depressed.
I think that he will draw parallels to his own experience being canceled, where his mind went to a very dark place, and that he was simply trying to assist a friend through a life experience that he had also shared.
When I was in a similar situation, all I cared about was anybody treating me like a human being and hearing me out and being there for him, so that's what I tried to provide.
I also believe that he's going to portray his extended silence as a selfless act that he did to simply protect Kayla and avoid giving Evan Johnson's legal team any ammunition to use against her.
I have not spoken out about this for a couple of different reasons. Anything I or anybody else says online can and probably will be used by either Evan's defense attorney or the judge to affect the outcome of its ruling. And I didn't want to put Kayla at any risk for that.
We know for a fact Evan Johnson was at his house. Whether or not he's able to convince people that nothing happened and they simply baked cookies and went to church together,
all we did was sit on the couch, order food, watch movies.
Finally, I believe at the end, he's either going to threaten or announce some type of legal action.
I am suing Zack Sellars.
So when you eventually do watch his response video, please view it with a critical eye and understand that you are viewing a meticulously crafted effort to alter public perception that was likely designed by a team of lawyers and public relations professionals who literally do reputation management for a living.
If you're honestly still supporting James Charles after this, then you need to fucking watch this video, bitch. Oh my god, what week have we had? What week have we had? James Charles has responded to the allegations against him with regards to Evan Johnson and Kayla Malecc. We then obviously have now Zack also speaking out because obviously James himself has called out Zack. It has been an absolutely insane week. And not only that, but Kayla has also gotten justice. She went to court, she went to trial, and she won. She actively won against her domestic violence abuser. And honestly, that is the best part and the main takeaway throughout this entire situation, because let's not forget, this is an unfortunate case about abuse. This is an unfortunate case regarding domestic violence, and for a lot of people, for a lot of women, they will never get any sort of justice, let alone anyone to even believe them when it comes to sensitive situations like this. So the fact that she has been able to win and be successful in her trial is absolutely incredible and honestly amazing to see. But as you can imagine, James Charles has spoken out, and to my surprise, quite a few people actually believe him. What is wrong with you people? I'm going to allow you guys to watch the full James Charles response video to the Kayla Malecc situation, specifically the allegations that have been made against him with regards to Evan Johnson. I'm going to allow you guys to watch it so you guys can see and have your own perspective and judgment on it. Let me know in the comments also.
I do not support Evan Johnson in any way, shape, or form, and let me make that fucking clear. I don't support him, I don't support violence against women, and I sure as hell do not support the disgusting, deplorable, violent, heinous acts that he committed against Kayla Malecc behind closed doors. I really fucking hope and pray that when this goes to court this week, Kayla gets justice for what that man put her through. At the same time, the videos that I'm currently seeing all over my For You page are disturbing to me. This is not TikTok tea and drama for everyone else's entertainment. This is real people dealing with some really serious shit. The conversation has completely shifted focus away from Kayla Malecc and how she was brave enough to speak out about what she went through to how James Charles involved, the downfall, Bye Sister 2.0, where's the apology video? It's distracting from the actual issue at hand, which is domestic violence. I have not spoken out about this for a couple of different reasons. The main one being, this is going to court this week. Anything I or anybody else says online can and probably will be used by either Evan's defense attorney or the judge to affect the outcome of its ruling. And I didn't want to put Kayla at any risk for that. I hate that I'm getting online and filming this video right now, but I truthfully have no other choice because I've also spent the last several weeks trying to get in contact with the only person involved in this that actually matters and needs to hear the truth, and that's Kayla Malecc. And she has been unwilling to have a conversation with me. And frankly, I don't fucking blame her. After I watched the laughable interview between Be Better and Zack Sellars, I wouldn't want to have a conversation with me either if I was being fed complete bullshit, lies, and misinformation from the person whose only source of information is the same man that lied to and abused me for 9 months straight. At this point, I have no choice other than to get online, tell my story, and then prove my story to be true in a court of law. I am suing Zack Sellars and anybody else that thinks it's funny or entertaining to get online and spread defamatory and slanderous lies, misinformation, completely bullshit made-up stories for the sake of views, likes, engagement, and galaxies. I'm done. This all started at the beginning of 2025 when I reached out to Kayla about her and Evan being in a Valentine's Day video together. She told me she couldn't. She was crashing out because they had just broken up because he was crazy. I tried to lighten the mood a little bit and make a lighthearted joke asking could I have him now, and then asked what actually happened between them. All she told me was that he did awful things to her and that I would find out more in her 30-part TikTok series. She said she was upset that she helped build his platform based off of lies and abuse, and whenever she was healed, she was going to get online and expose him. I'm going to be so honest, I did not take this conversation very seriously. And obviously, now knowing what we all do, I fucking should have. Reading it back now, it is super clear that she was using humor to cope, and that is perfectly fine and valid. But at the time, I genuinely interpreted these messages as a messy breakup. Maybe he cheated, maybe they got into a drunken argument that ended badly. I could have never imagined what she was actually going through behind the scenes. A lot of Kayla's own friends and family have said they had no idea what she was going through. I wish I could go back in time and been there for her, tried to help her. I wish that I would have asked more questions, but frankly, I didn't feel comfortable doing so. First and foremost, she obviously wasn't ready to talk about it yet based on her last message. And secondly, me and Kayla Malecc just weren't close friends. I don't say that to take away from her feelings about this. I don't say that to undermine what she went through. We've only met a couple of times. We collabed in 2023. She guest starred on a podcast with me in 2024, and we hung out at our mutual friend's Halloween party back in October. We've never hung out one-on-one. We've never had a deep conversation. I just really didn't know her that well to be able to interpret these messages and have a better idea of what was actually happening behind closed doors. And I wish more than anything I did, because I should have never gotten involved with this, but I did not know what she was going through. I really fucking hate to admit it, but I did have a brief friendship with Evan Johnson that started and ended well before I ever learned about any of the violence that was going on behind the scenes. He reached out to me a couple of days later asking me for advice and told me the same exact story that Zack Sellars believed and then repeated on the Be Better podcast, which was that the relationship was toxic, they both said things and did things that they shouldn't have, and a bunch of other stories that genuinely made me believe Evan Johnson was the victim in the situation. He told me that he moved back to Nashville to go to church and get therapy and try to become a better man, and he seemed vulnerable. He seemed real, and he seemed scared that Kayla was going to get online and start telling lies about him, and he knew exactly what to say to relate it back to a situation that I was in that made me have sympathy for him and be on his side. I feel so fucking dumb for ever believing him, but when I was in a similar situation, all I cared about was anybody treating me like a human being and hearing me out and being there for him, so that's what I tried to provide. We became closer, we would start FaceTiming, he was very suicidal and depressed, and eventually he told me that he wanted to come out to LA to escape and get his mind off of things for a weekend, so I invited him out. All we did was sit on the couch, order food, watch movies, but over the course of the weekend, I slowly started to notice that some of his stories were not exactly lining up. There were inconsistencies, and I started to get worried that I might be on the wrong side of things, and that was confirmed as soon as Kayla noticed that he was at my house and I had to lie to her. I didn't know what to do. I realized then that I was in the middle of a very fucking messy situation that I should have never gotten involved with in the first place, but this man was staying with me and I didn't know how to get out of it. Later on that night, I told Evan straight up I was uncomfortable, I was upset that I had to lie to her, and that we could not hang out any further. He respected that, and the next morning, he flew home. As soon as Evan left LA, I immediately started making myself unavailable to him because I recognized that he was not the man he was telling me he was. But it wasn't until a month later, when Kayla uploaded her video, He Doesn't Love You, that I actually got to sit and watch how much of a monster he is. My jaw was on the floor for all 2 hours of that video. I could not believe what I was watching and seeing. The horrendous verbal abuse, the violent physical abuse. I was shocked. I was ashamed for not taking me and Kayla's conversation more seriously. I was embarrassed for ever believing that man's lies and manipulation. And I was angry with myself that I ever allowed that man into my home. It was horrifying, and I'm so proud of Kayla for being able to speak up. A couple of days later, I started getting messages on Instagram from Zack Sellars, Evan's best friend, basically warning me that Evan had lied to both of us and telling me that I should cut him off. I didn't see these messages at first until he made a public TikTok accusing me of still supporting Evan behind the scenes, and I messaged him right away because I was confused. His messages genuinely seemed nice. He seemed like he was checking in, warning me to make sure that I was okay and have cut Evan off because he knew that we were both told the same exact lies and stories from Evan. The only reason he even knew I was involved at all was because he was physically with Evan as his best friend, supporting him every single day. It took me 3 days with Evan to realize that something wasn't right here. It took Zack 3 months. So to act this way privately and then to get online as if I'm some monster was wild to me. What started off as a video of James Charles supporting Evan Johnson behind the scenes snowballed into more videos, more content, and then live streams. Every single night, Zack has been live asking for galaxies in exchange for showing more receipts. He's been asking his followers for their cities and locations so he can go on tour with Kayla after this is all over with. He's even been asking for donations on PayPal to fund a merch line. This has nothing to do with getting justice for Kayla and everything about making an opportunity for himself. And the perfect one came along when Be Better flew him out to Canada for their podcast interview. Aside from the timeline that I just told you guys, everything else in that hour-long episode is complete bullshit. To start rumors about somebody online is one thing. Unfortunately, I know that that comes with the job, but to publicly accuse them of prostitution is ridiculous. There is no proof, no evidence of any of the ridiculous claims that Zack is making because they did not happen, which is why I have no choice other than to take legal action. But before I do that, I want to quickly take a second and clear the air on some things that have really set me over the edge. First and foremost, Evan Johnson and I did not in any way, shape, or form have a physically sexual relationship. We did not have sex while he was here, and I did not, under any circumstances, pay Evan Johnson for sexual favors. Not in person, and certainly not online through a secret OF account where I'm apparently funding his entire life. That is absurd. Not that it's anybody's business, but I do have an OF account. I'm a grown adult. I barely use it, but Zack, if you would like to see, I will gladly send you a screenshot of my transaction history. I have nothing to hide, and I have not sent Evan Johnson $1 single. Zack claims to know all this information to be true because he pressured Evan into getting drunk and telling him what happened on the trip. I don't know if Evan lied to him to make the trip seem more fun and exciting, or if Zack literally just made this up for funsies. I would like to believe that that isn't the case and that he was manipulated in this situation as well, but he claims to have seen a video on Evan's phone of him having sex with me. Zack, post it. If you have the receipt, if you have the video evidence, you can upload it. You have my full consent and permission. I've had far worse posted to me online that I didn't consent to. Go right ahead. But you can't because there is no video of something that did not happen. Be Better doesn't even stand by these claims because he's now added a disclaimer to their interview that says he was not able to verify a single thing that Zack said. Second, there's a rumor going around that I paid Evan Johnson's bail. This is not true. It is a public record that it was Evan's family who got him out. Kayla's own sister has confirmed this.
JC did not bail out EJ. I know who did, and I cannot say anything.
Third, there's a new narrative started by Be Better that I am trying to silence anybody that talks about this issue. First and foremost, this is literally the biggest thing on TikTok right now. I don't understand how anybody could possibly assume that I'm trying to silence people, but Be Better made a video basically saying that I'm working with YouTube behind the scenes to manipulate their algorithm and get their video hidden. I truthfully wish this was possible. I've been making content for 8 long years now. There are videos on YouTube with 5, 10, 20 million views that if I could have gotten them removed, I would have. But Be Better, I know you said you're having your lawyers reach out to YouTube. So YouTube, I give you my full permission to release any communications between myself or my team to you guys about this matter because, again, they don't exist. Zack has also now made a video claiming that my lawyers have reached out to him to threaten him, to silence him, and to offer him hush money. This is not true. Zack, my lawyers cannot contact you directly, so instead they emailed your modeling agency because that is the only contact you have listed. There was no threat, there was no offer, they were simply asking for the contact of your lawyers. I told you I was going to sue you, and this is what the beginning of that process looks like. It really sucks that at this point I am left with no options other than to pursue a case. As for Kayla, I am so fucking sorry that I ever got involved in this. I should have never believed his lies and manipulation. I should have never even responded back to him in the first place, and I'm sorry for hurting you. I genuinely do wish you the absolute best of luck, and I really hope that you get justice for what that man put you through.
Now, watching that video, I know what I personally believe, but when I went through the comments, and I'll put a screenshot of the comments here, people were actually on James's side, as in people are actually believing James. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to the internet, you have to take everything with a pinch of salt, because for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, everyone and their mother was clowning on James. Everyone was calling him a bad person, basically everything under the sun. So the fact that now people are switching this fast is absolutely a testament to how cancel culture never works. It never works. And so for me, when people say that they hate cancel culture, it's just a bunch of waffle, because especially when it comes to someone like James Charles, cancel culture doesn't actually exist. Tell me one time where cancel culture has actually worked and that person has stayed cancelled. You can't really think of it, can you? But now James has released this video, and specifically in this video, he has called out Zack multiple times, specifically calling him a liar and basically calling Zack a complete liar, saying that he doesn't actually have any proof for any of the things that he's saying, specifically what he's saying in the Be Better video. But as you can imagine, Zack has responded and has actually said that he is looking forward to this court case, saying that he is happily able to give all the information, give all of the footage, give all of the proof, showing that James is in fact a bad person and a despicable human being that, yes, apparently talks to minors.
Hey James, so I'm on here because I'm responding to your video because you're gonna sue me, and I can't wait to receive those papers and take this to court because everything I have spoken about is the absolute truth. Kinda crazy that you've been blowing the hell out of Kayla's phone up and she's not responding to you because she knows what you are and she knows the character that you are and she knows it's the absolute truth. And then you want to bring up Kayla's messages, my messages, but where are your and Evan's messages off Instagram? Oh wait, it was vanish mode. But just because it was vanish mode does not mean that we can't get a hold of those messages. Because when this goes to court, we will be able to get all of your Instagram messages. And I'm scared for whenever they get over to your Instagram and see all of your Instagram messages and all of your vanish mode, because you don't want no one to take screenshots because who you think you are and who you are. But I'm scared that there's going to be all these little kids that are going to have to come forward because of all your past allegations. They're going to also look at characters. They're going to look at my character from the past, and they're going to look at your character from the past. And your character from the past is absolutely sick. You literally have videos of you admitting everything, which is absolutely sick. You are a sick human being. I cannot wait to take this to court. You will be canceled, and you do not deserve a platform. At no means whatsoever. Also, you want to bring up, yeah, I've been going live. Absolutely, I've been going live. And you know what? Just because you said that, I will be dropping Bye Sister merch because there's no more sister. You're going to fall off of this platform. I don't care how much energy this takes and how many people have to keep doing this, but I will not give up. You're fucking with the wrong one now, buddy, because I won't give up. You think I'm nice until you try to lie and try to cover up all of the allegations that you done because you're sick and you know that you're going to be canceled. I'm not going to let that happen by no means. So also you wanted to bring up that you reached out to my modeling agency, your legal team did, because that was the right way to do it. So be it. Okay, if that was the right way to do it, then let that be. But my legal team has already been in touch with yours. We're waiting on the papers because we will be subpoenaing your phone. No matter if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 phones, whatever. Because I do know there has been kids that have reached out to me and have shown me evidence where you have said, don't take screenshots. And also, the Instagram messages have been on vanish mode. So this is not just, you taking up for, DV and being against Kayla. This is a lot more to it. So I cannot wait to bring this to court. So in the meantime, bye, sister.
In the video itself, he even reiterated having contact with other victims of James that were underage when he was talking to them. Now, I'm not going to lie and I'm going to be honest. I do not like James Charles. I do not like James Charles. I do not like his character. I do not believe someone can mess up this many times, be in this many scandals, and not be the problem. I don't believe that. I don't believe as someone, as a grown adult, James Charles is older than me. I don't believe as a grown adult, as someone with this much social capital, this much clout, this much fame, this much financial stability, economic stability, etc. I do not believe that someone like that can exist and be in this much mess consistently and not be the problem. I don't believe that. I really don't. So the somewhat sob-story act in his apology video, I don't really buy it. Also, James, what the hell? In his video, in his apology video, he says that he initially saw what Kayla sent to him. He initially saw that Kayla messaged him saying that Evan is a terrible person and that they had broken up. He says that he didn't take it seriously and he wishes that he had. I don't know what is going on in your mind for you to not take something like that seriously to the extent to where now you think it's okay to go be buddy-buddy with your friend's ex. Even if you've only met up with Kayla a few times, even if you've only known her for a couple of weeks, months, whatever, nothing would ever possess me as a girl's girl, or even as a decent human being. Nothing would ever possess me to go to my friend, to my acquaintance, to anyone that I know's ex and become buddy with them. I would never do that. And the fact that James even thought, even fathomed for that to be an appropriate thing to do, again, it tells me that he is not a good person. It tells me, it shows me a hint to the character that he is, to the character that he has, and it's not good. It's not. But at the exact same time, with regards to what Zack has said in the clap back video, I don't really appreciate him saying that he's going to make Bi Sister merch. Bi Sister merch? Who is you? Who is you, Zack? First of all, this situation doesn't even have anything to do with you. You are just the best friend of Evan that didn't clock on that he was being manipulated. Like, this situation has nothing to do with you. So the fact that you are actually trying to capitalize this much on it is weird. It's weird, and I really hope nobody buys that stinking merch. On top of that, apparently he has in fact been going on live basically every single day, asking for gifts, saying that if you give me gifts, I'll give you receipts and more information, basically making a big song and dance of this entire situation. I think it's so distasteful and honestly quite gross. So Zack, you're a weirdo, and I definitely don't trust you either. Both Zack and James, in my opinion, should be thrown in the bin. They've both proven to be very untrustworthy people, and I hope that Kayla, alongside basking in the win and being happy that she won this really distressful case, I really hope that she learns from this and picks the people in her circle a lot wiser, because these people, you do not want snakes in the garden like this, bro. This is kind of... But yes, what do you guys think about the situation? Are you team Kayla, or are you more on the side of James Charles? I know what side I'm on, and it's always the side of the victim, okay? I know that for sure, and that's why she won. That's exactly why she won, and all praise to her for it. And if you're still someone that's defending James Charles, you can tell me why, but I'm going to be giving you the side eye while you do it. But yes, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can head over to my TikTok, which is where I found the majority of this information anyway. And of course, you can head over to my Instagram. And guys, you're already here, so you might as well subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I shall see y'all in the next one.